What's up, everybody? Welcome to Bios3 Raw TV. Today we're going to talk about the deadlift. So many people lately, I have to deadlift to have a good back. I have to deadlift to have a good back. First of all, you do not have to deadlift to have a good back. You just don't. Many people do them, but this bullshit guise that you have to do, deadlifts to have a really good back. And, I don't know where it came from. I really don't. I know it's a basic movement. Just like, I have to bench. No, you really don't. You can do dumbbell bench presses. You can do incline bench presses. You can do flies and still develop your chest. You can do fucking machines and still develop your chest. Well, I have to squat to get good legs. And I'm actually finding out now that that's not true. You can do leg presses. You don't have to do squats. Now, the deadlift doesn't do anything that the squat doesn't do except pull your traps a little bit differently. Okay, the bar is in front of you. It pulls down on your traps. When you're squatting, the bar is behind you. It's putting pressure on your traps, and you're pushing up on the bar rather than holding it below you. But other than that, leg-wise, hip-wise, abdominals-wise, everything else-wise, doesn't really do anything different. Matter of fact, I would say that the squat, having your arms pinned back behind you and having all those back muscles contracted, would actually work your back more than when you're doing a deadlift. Now, the middle of your back, where you have the spinal erectors go in your lower back, get worked pretty good with the deadlift because you're leaning forward. No matter who you are, when you do a squat, the bar goes straight up and down. Your back's supposed to stay straight. When you do a deadlift, your back is tilted forward a little bit. The bar is in front of you, not on top of your shoulders going up and down. So that's the difference. You got a lower back stimulation a little bit differently, but it doesn't build your fucking back. Now, people all the time, they go, well, why aren't they on your program? Why don't you have deadlifts? Because deadlifts can cause injury very easily. And when people train and I train, we train to failure. You are not going to hit failure on a fucking deadlift. I don't care who the fuck you are. You're not going to hit failure with your back muscles. Your hips, quads, glutes, lower back is the first thing to fucking go. And your cardio will go before your fucking back muscles give out. Your grip will let go before your back muscles give out. So there is fucking no point other than who's got the biggest balls in the playground fucking that they can deadlift a lot. And for some reason that seems to be like a big thing nowadays. Everybody's transitioning from doing their bodybuilding training to like, I have to be a powerlifter. Fucking great. Do your powerlifting. It's great. There's nothing wrong with powerlifting. Great sport, amazing. Easy to tell who's the best at it because you basically move the weight or you don't. It's not a judged sport where, somebody's opinion says that you're better than the other one. But now, the people pointing the fact that, well, you have to get a good back, you have to do it. Dorian Yates did it. Dorian Yates easily said that his fucking back development came from heavy rows. Heavy rows, heavy pull downs. The deadlift was thrown in there for that mid back. And I'm pretty sure Dorian could have built the same fucking back without deadlifts. Now, people point to other people, and this is a great one, the one that just came out. Layne Norton posted up a picture of his back talking about, it's like, motherfucker. Layne Norton was a professional fucking bodybuilder before he was a power lifter. Layne Norton was doing all sorts of rows, pull-ups, chins, pull-downs, all the back work that you needed to do to develop your fucking back before he became a power lifter. And as we're finding out now, as the thing I'm finding out, once you have built muscle, you can maintain it by not really training that area directly anymore. So yes, Layne has a good back, but he built that. Matter of fact, deadlifts, work your traps like a motherfucker. And as far as Layne's back, not a knock on it, but he doesn't have good traps, mid or upper traps. So, you can say, well, the deadlift's supposed to work those traps really well. Well, it didn't do it to his. So now what do? Do you not do shrugs because you have to do deadlifts instead? No. Max Chewing. Now, here's a guy that, his whole claim to fame is the deadlift. Now, I'm not going to take anything away from the kid's got a fucking hell of a deadlift. But he's not thick and he's not impressive looking in a fucking shirt. I don't even know if he looks impressive out of a shirt. But he definitely doesn't have no fucking big-ass, thick back development. But he's got a crazy deadlift. Who else? The same thing. Deadlift-wise, you got, pretty much anybody who does these fucking heavy deadlifts doesn't have a good back. And the ones that you point out that do, not only are they doing the stuff like the heavy rows and shit like that, but they were usually bodybuilders beforehand. So you see, you don't have to do that. And like I said, hey, if you're more into the strength sports and you want to fucking pull, I definitely think that, for strength athletes, I think they're pretty important for strength athletes. I absolutely do. There's no doubt in my mind. I think that being able to move your body through space, which is part of athletics, you need to be able to do that. Do I think that max reps are? No, I don't think max reps. I think that the deadlift is very dangerous on the lower back. It's hurt my lower back several times. I've only done it a few times in my entire fucking career and realized very quickly that for whatever reason, people are like, oh, form, motherfucker. I've had some amazing powerlifters in my gyms throughout the years who are fucking world record setters who helped me with my form. And they're like, I don't understand why you're fucking hurting your back. They couldn't get it. So it's not a form thing. It's it's a genetic thing. I found out later that I had a disc in my back that was compressed, and that was causing the issues because when I lean forward, when I squat, it's okay. But when I lean forward, just that slight little bit, as the vertebrae bend onto the disc, it compresses it and pushes it against the nerve, and that's what was causing it. So I had to figure out how to build a better back without deadlifts, which made me realize you don't really need deadlifts to make a bigger back. Now, going back to what I said about failing. Now, muscle growth in general and fat loss, as far as boosting your metabolism over a 24-hour period, you get a much bigger boost in metabolism, and the research is there. Go ahead and do it on your own. Use that little Google button. If you're training to failure, the metabolic fucking stress is so much more, and the spike is so much more for so much longer for that afterburner effect, that training to failure is, I feel, essential to get the fastest results possible. Okay, and let's face facts. I don't like to fucking sit around and wait for results. I just don't. So, taking the deadlifts out and making sure that you're doing the rows, the pull-ups, reverse rows, or reverse push-ups they're called, stuff like that. I feel anything that has a high NMA, neuromuscular activation on it, that makes the muscles fail is going to work 10 times better than anything that is a movement like a deadlift. I mean, I'm finding even now that you can stimulate your quads, hamstrings, and glutes much better with a leg press than you can a squat. In a squat, your cardio gives out first. That's the first thing that goes. So you cannot push the muscle to absolute failure while squatting because of the fact that your lungs give out first. And then what happens is your lower back starts to give out before your legs do. And usually you get some problem with your neck, which is the weirdest thing. There's actually no weight on your neck. It's contracted from having to fucking look up when you're doing your squats. So you see, there are things that are necessities for powerlifting. Oh, Nick Wright. Two people go, Nick Wright's got a big back. Nick Wright's been a bodybuilder since he was fucking 12. He's just transitioning into powerlifting shit now. The fuck? You guys don't understand. Everybody that you mentioned did all these fucking heavy rows, heavy chin-ups, all this shit. And the guys who have just done the powerlifting and just done the fucking deadlifts or the low reps with deadlifts, squats, and bench presses are not the guys with crazy development. None of them. Not one. And when you find that one that is, either he's genetically predisposed for that and had it all the time, or he was a bodybuilder or trained like a bodybuilder before. So that's my take on deadlifts. And I don't know if you guys, I'm going to hear some, your motherfucker, well, prove me fucking wrong, okay? Stop doing deadlifts and let me see how bad your fucking back looks after 6 months of doing fucking heavy rows, various rows, and pull-ups. Come back and tell me that you haven't fucking... John Meadows, matter of fact, just put up a video about how he had injured himself training for... hey, Brew. How you doing, buddy? He had injured himself training for his show this year, and it forced him to not be able to do heavy deadlifts and heavy bent-over rows. So he had to wind up squeezing, and he said, I was, absolutely positive that was going to fuck up my back development, and I was going to lose size, so I was trying to maintain my size. And what happened is he actually wound up getting a better back when he stepped on stage. His back had improved by not being able to deadlift and do the heavy rows. And he was shocked too. So here's a guy that based his back around those heavy movements and found out very quickly that, oh shit, my back improved and I wasn't doing them. All right? BioStraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biostraining.com is a blog and where you don't need deadlifts, bicep, but they're fun to do and some people like them, and we're out.